Once upon a time, a king and queen wished for a child. They looked sad because they had no children. Every day they hoped for a child to call their own. Their hearts longed for the joy of parenthood, but it seemed their wish would never come true. One day, as the queen was bathing, a frog hopped out of the water. It spoke to her, saying, "Your wish shall be fulfilled. Before a year has gone by, you shall have a daughter." It was a strange and unexpected moment that filled her with surprise and hope. The frog's words came true. The queen gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. The king was overjoyed. He smiled with all his heart. He was so happy that he could barely contain himself. The parents cherished their new daughter. The king ordered a grand feast to celebrate. He invited family, friends, and the wise women. There were 13 wise women, but he only had 12 golden plates. One of them had to be left out of the party, a decision that would soon have repercussions. As the feast was ending, the wise women bestowed their gifts. One gave virtue, another beauty, and a third riches. Each gift was a blessing, wishing the baby a life filled with happiness and good fortune, all except one. Suddenly, the 13th wise woman stormed in. She was angry for not being invited. She cried, "The king's daughter shall in her 15th year prick herself with a spindle and fall down dead." Then she left without another word, leaving the crowd in shock. The 12th wise woman, who hadn't given her gift yet, tried to soften the curse. She said, "It shall not be death, but a deep sleep of 100 years, into which the princess shall fall." This small hope gave some comfort to the king and queen. To protect his daughter, the king ordered every spindle in the kingdom to be burnt. He wanted to prevent the terrible curse from ever coming true. He was desperate to ensure his daughter's safety and future happiness. The young princess grew into a beautiful, modest, good-natured, and wise young woman. Everyone who saw her loved her. She was a delight to everyone in the kingdom. The gifts of the wise women seemed to make her special. On her 15th birthday, the princess was alone in the palace. She explored and discovered a hidden tower with a locked door. Her curiosity led her into an unknown part of her own home. What would she find inside? The princess opened the door and found an old woman spinning with a spindle. "Good day, old mother," said the king's daughter. "What are you doing there?" she asked. The old woman nodded and said, "I am spinning." The princess was curious and asked, "What sort of thing is that rattles round so merrily?" She took the spindle to try it herself. She didn't know that this simple action would trigger the dreadful curse. The princess pricked her finger. Instantly, she fell into a deep sleep on the bed. The curse had been activated. The moment was quick, like the fall of a drop of blood on the finger, and the deep sleep overwhelmed her. The deep sleep spread over the entire castle. The king and queen, the courtiers, the animals, even the fire, all froze in place, asleep. Time itself seemed to stop, capturing everything in the palace in a static moment. Around the castle, a thorny hedge began to grow. It grew taller and denser each year, completely surrounding the castle. This hedge hid the castle from the world, protecting the sleeping inhabitants. Many kings' sons tried to get through the thorny hedge, but they failed. The thorns held them fast, and they died a miserable death. The hedge was an impassable barrier for all who dared challenge it. After many years, a new king's son came to the land. He heard an old man tell the story of Briar Rose and the castle. He was determined, and he said, "I am not afraid. I will go and see the beautiful Briar Rose." As the prince approached, the thorns miraculously turned into beautiful flowers. They parted to let him pass. It was as if the curse was finally lifting after 100 long years. Inside the castle, the prince saw the horses and dogs asleep, pigeons with their heads under their wings. The whole place was still, a picture of daily life frozen in time. He moved quietly among them. He went to the tower and found Briar Rose asleep. He had never seen someone so beautiful. He was so captivated that he could not turn his eyes away. He found her in deep sleep and was mesmerized. The prince gently kissed Briar Rose. She opened her eyes, and the light was bright. They both were awakening, as if emerging from a long dream into a new reality. This moment changed everything. The castle awoke. The king, queen, and courtiers stretched and looked around. The animals began to move. The whole palace was filled with sounds of activity once more. Life was returning to normal. The prince and Briar Rose were married. They celebrated with all splendor. They lived happily for the rest of their days. The curse was broken and joy returned to the kingdom.